Well, this is extremely late. I guess it's because, not that I've lost interest, it's more the fact that I'm busy with other things, so therefore I cannot do this. But this is the Eden chapter 218. The easiest way to summarize it is basically a Rebecca heartwarming chapter, as Rebecca, despite having not dressed and is now only in a modest towel, is running towards the healing aid where she runs into her father. As the duck open, they see that Rachel, or Saint Knoxfire, has actually managed to subjugate sister and even talk just like Rebecca when she's pissed, basically calling her Ducky. It's me, the Angry Enemy fan, and this is Eden Chapter 218, as I said before. And so the explanation begins with big speed. Oh yeah, and Happy is there too, and she recognizes Rebecca immediately. So now begins. So the so Rebecca demands the reasons for what is happening. So Rachel, as we can call her now, begins to explain where she came from. She came from the mills in the Yukino cosmos. And if you ask me, that planet looks very similar to that Octopath Traveler town, where it actually had a church, the Church of the, not the Saint Fire, the Holy Flame, no, the Sacred Flame. So, but back to Eden Zero. There was a church of Rachel's, the Church of Saint Fire, and it was the ancestral home of Rachel. For generations, her family had been required to act as the founder of that church, and she was trained from a young age. Uh, and the Saint Fire's biggest faith was in time. Um, and they said for generations the women in that place had the power to control time. So Rachel begins to say that she didn't like to be there, so she ran away. And then she went to our cosmos, where she met Connor, who was a lieutenant in the Freedom Force before he was promoted. And so she spent 3 years with Connor, and at times she even got pregnant. However, the reason for why she's absent and why not even Connor knew that she was alive was because she left Connor because the Saint Fire Church found her. Uh, at first, and it turns out that Rebecca is not the only one who has actually messed with time, because once upon the Saint Fire found her and threatened her, and when she refused to come with them, they killed Connor, and also eventually when she even gave birth to Rebecca, they even killed her too. So when she was at 4 years old at that time, so they couldn't accept a girl with unknown parentage. So even Rebecca had died many times. So so Rachel tried to find her time. It may very well imply that even she has the power of the Catholic fire. Mm. So she couldn't do it, and because she didn't have the power to turn back time no more. So as a last resort, she sent her daughters far away to the Sakura cosmos. So but and the believers even took the money that they were going to get to Rebecca. Either way, after that, the Saint Fire starts scaling back, and they forgot about the Kokamane traditions. So, what is the reason why Rachel became Saint Fire Knox? Because, well, the reason for that is because of her own mother, Rebecca's grandmother. Um, because she had power that everybody made everybody fear. Knox is a title given to all the church founders, and the name took on a life of its own, and by generation it struck fear into the heart of the cosmos. And the reason why they came for Rachel was because the grandmother had died. So she begins to walk. Rebecca begins to walk away, but also says that, and now I have mixed feelings, but at least I'm glad I found some answers. I'm glad I met you. Uh, But Rachel, with her tears in her eyes, says, I always thought of you, and I have always loved you. So no longer be able to contain it. Rebecca hugs her father and mother. At long last, they are reunited. The family of Bluegarden, as we may very well call them, or should we say the family of Knox. It doesn't matter what it is, the family is at least one. So yeah, this was a wholesome chapter, with some explanation of the same fire. It may very well explain that the real threat to everything was Saint Fire Knox, the real one, the grandmother of Rebecca. But this was just a wholesome chapter, no bigger information of it all, so nothing too major, but not a bad chapter by any least. Although I would have preferred if Rebecca was fully dressed before doing this, but I get it. She needed to run to have the explanation. But I can definitely see that Rachel is Rebecca's mother by tying up sister and calling her Ducky. But it's not exactly explained for me how Rachel's power work, but it seems to imply that just like Rebecca, she has the power of Cat Leaper. And as we know, Cat Leaper cannot exactly rewind time, it can just leap into a different time. But that would coincide a little bit what Noah said about the universes, because that would mean they have been in universes or times many, many times before. Or is he only talking about Rebecca's times and universes? Either way, you give me a thoughts if you have any.